Hello and welcome to another inspiring episode of Diaspora Network, where we celebrate Nigerians making remarkable strides around the world. I'm Teniola Oyetayo. On today's program, we focus on the world of artificial intelligence and technology. We highlight the work of Nigerian-American computer scientist Dr. Chinasa Okolo, who was recently named one of Time's 100 most influential people in AI. A Brookings Institution fellow, he has made major contributions to AI research, particularly in raising awareness about the benefits and risk AI could bring to the global south. But before we hear from her, let's get up to speed on the latest news from the diaspora.
It's a big joy for us, and we were so glad.
Colorado Springs in the United States has welcomed its first ever Nigerian restaurant and lounge, Owambe, run by owner Adeton, her brother Adejumobi, and husband Daniel. The siblings are proud immigrants from Nigeria who told the local media that there's a huge need for African food within the community, especially Nigerian cuisine. Adejumobi said the renovations have taken several months and a lot of hard work is put into creating the downtown restaurant's beautiful interior. Owambe, a Yoruba term, means presence of a celebration or party which the owners wanted to bring to their new business venture. The restaurant, which is now officially open, will be serving food and drinks from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Scotland-based epidemiologist and pharmacist Yusuf Adebisi has received funding support from German researcher the Robert Koch Institute in collaboration with Germany's Ministry of Health. The 27-year-old, who graduated with a master's in global health science and epidemiology from Oxford University last year, is currently working as a researcher and consultant for several organizations, including the Scottish Centre for Administrative Data Research and University of Glasgow. As an undergraduate, he wrote and published over 50 peer-reviewed articles, which awarded him the Diana Award in 2021. Yusuf has written several research articles on disease and illness and said this support will allow him to conduct study focused on understanding current responses to antimicrobial resistance in West Africa, with a particular emphasis on advancing equity across the region. He has previously said that while these achievements serve as motivation and inspiration to many young people, he sees it more as the beginning of a lifelong purpose, advancing science and health research in Africa and beyond. 5 players of Nigerian descent have emerged as this year's Next Generation 60 most promising young talents in football, according to UK-based publication The Guardian. They are Austrian midfielder Kenneth Dejenogure, who is being closely watched by several clubs, including Manchester United, Borussia Dortmund, and Milan, and is already becoming a first-team regular. Copenhagen-born Chido Obi Martin, who has been done a scoring machine, netting 10 goals in a single game for Arsenal under-16s last year. Germany's left-footed attacking midfielder Francis Onyeka, who has been playing football since the age of 7, is widely considered Germany's brightest prospect in his age group. Central midfielder Daniel Daga, who is already a captain of Eyimba and was his country's youngest player at the 2023 Under-20 World Cup, is expected to make a move to Europe next year with an interest in Watford and Molde. And Marvin Akaome, who made his top division debut for Basel in April 2023 at just 15, becoming the 3rd youngest player in Swiss football history. And the football world is eagerly awaiting their next moves. Nigerian-born Samson Dauda has clinched the prestigious bodybuilding title at the 60th edition of Mr. Olympia. He was also crowned the People's Champion, earning a record-breaking prize of $600,000, the largest sum ever awarded in a bodybuilding competition. The event, which took place at the Resorts World Theater in Las Vegas, is the biggest bodybuilding competition in the world, most popularly known by its link to former bodybuilder Arnold Schwarzenegger, who won 6 consecutive titles from 1970 to 1975. Samson's journey began in the UK after moving there as a teenager. Initially focused on rugby, he was introduced to bodybuilding by his teammates and a local gym owner. After being inspired by performance at the 2013 Mr. Olympia, Samson shifted his focus to bodybuilding and entered his first competition in April 2014. His victory follows 15 elite athletes who have advanced from the pre-judging stage and battled it out at the ultimate crown. Dauda won first place based on his size and mass, conditioning, symmetry, proportion, and stage presence. The first Nigerian to win such a prize has paved the way for others like him to also pursue the sport.
Technology is reshaping the world as we know it, and many Nigerians in the diaspora are at the forefront of these innovations. In our special report this week, we explore some of their stories and influence in the field.
Artificial intelligence has swiftly emerged as one of the most transformative forces of the 21st century, revolutionizing industries from healthcare and finance to education and transportation. Nigerian innovators, scientists and engineers are at the forefront of this technological revolution, driving advancement in AI and contributing to a future shaped by intelligent systems.
First 20 years of my life, I lived on 3 continents. And
one of such trailblazers is Kunle Olukotun, often referred to as the father of the multi-core processor. Olukotun is a professor of electrical engineering and computer science at Stanford University in the United States and a pioneer in high-performance AI systems. His groundbreaking work in developing multi-core processors laid the foundation for the parallel computing systems that power today's AI applications. More recently, he co-founded Sambanova Systems, a startup that designs cutting-edge AI hardware to accelerate machine learning and other AI tasks.
Efficient use of the utilization of the compute and memory, which would lead to very high performance and very high efficiency.
Olukotun has also infused elements of his Yoruba heritage into his work, naming his company Afara, meaning bridge in Yoruba, and his server at Stanford, Ogun, after the Yoruba god of iron and steel. A fitting reference for large, powerful computing systems, often called Big Iron. Another notable figure is Inioluwa Deborah Raji, a Nigerian-Canadian AI researcher and advocate known for her work in addressing the ethical challenges of artificial intelligence. Born in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, Raji has made significant contributions to the field by investigating the biases in AI systems, particularly in facial recognition technologies. Her research has exposed the racial and gender biases embedded in these systems, and her advocacy has led to changes in facial recognition technology by major companies like IBM and Amazon.
If you're someone that cares passionately about people and you have an interest in computer science, the field definitely needs you.
The 28-year-old has been recognized as one of MIT Technology Review's innovators under 35 and featured in Time Magazine's 2023 list of the 100 most influential people in AI.
A vision for AI that is inclusive, that is impactful in the right ways.
In the field of health tech, Nigerian-born Dr. Adebayo Alonge co-founded Roxol, an AI-powered platform designed to detect counterfeit drugs. After nearly dying from being given fake medicine, Alonge developed this innovative solution to address the global challenge of counterfeit medications, which disproportionately affects low-income countries, including many in Africa. By using machine learning, algorithms, and portable hardware, Roxol can authenticate drugs in real time, saving lives and restoring trust in pharmaceutical products.
Once you fix the regulatory policy, then the next thing you need to do is to create the base to facilitate innovation.
Another prominent figure is Dr. Uyi Stewart, the Chief Data and Technology Officer at data.org, where he leads efforts to build data science capacity and infrastructure to tackle global challenges. Prior to this role, Dr. Stewart was a founding member and chief scientist at IBM Research Africa, where he developed AI-driven solutions to address critical societal challenges such as predicting disease outbreaks like malaria and Ebola. He has also worked with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, leading data and AI initiatives aimed at solving pressing global health and developmental issues, including improving healthcare delivery in underserved communities. These and many more individuals are shaping the future of IT and empowering others to thrive.
And now it's time to meet our guest today, Dr. Chinasa Okolo, who was recently named one of Time's 100 most influential people in AI. Her passion lies in ensuring that technology meets the needs of underserved communities while advancing the discussion on data governance and ethical AI practices.
Born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri, Dr. Chinasa T. Okolo is a fellow in the Center for Technology Innovation within the Governance Studies program at the Brookings Institution. She holds a PhD and a master's in computer science from Cornell University and a bachelor's degree in computer science from Pomona College. A twin and first-generation Nigerian-American hailing from Anambra State, her research examines how African governments can facilitate effective AI and data governance, investigates the socio-economic impact of data work in the Global South, and analyzes datafication and algorithmic marginalization in Africa. Over the past 2 years, Dr. Okolo has consulted for the African Union to develop the AU AI Continental Strategy for Africa, released in February 2024. She has worked with the Nigerian government, evaluating applications for the inaugural Nigeria AI Research Scheme, which awarded 225 million naira in grants to 45 AI researchers and startups. She also collaborated with the Nigerian Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy to develop the Nigerian National AI Strategy, which was released in August 2024. Dr. Okolo has been recognized as one of the world's most influential people in AI by Time, a global top futurist in recognition of the United Nations International Decade for People of African Descent, a trailblazer in engineering, a rising star in management science and engineering, and one of 100 brilliant women in AI ethics.
When we return, Dr. Okolo shares her journey on becoming a leading figure in AI research and her thoughts on how AI can be used to address unique challenges in Nigeria and other African countries. Please stay with us. Joining us now on Diaspora Network is Nigerian-American computer scientist and Brookings Institution fellow, Dr. Chinasa Okolo. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Firstly, congratulations on being recognized as Time's 100 most influential people in artificial intelligence. What does that recognition mean to you?
It means a lot, actually. I, had no idea I was being considered for the list. And also, I still feel that I'm relatively early in my career because I just finished my PhD and I actually went straight, from undergraduate to my PhD. So I'm technically in my first real job. So it's nice to see that, I've been able to have so much impact, already, and looking forward to doing more from this.
I'm interested in hearing how you got into the field in the first place, and now, or if your upbringing shaped your interest in technology and artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I would say definitely a little bit. Honestly, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, which is essentially right in the middle of the U.S. For those not familiar, and so my parents, immigrated, to there, and were always, very interested in me pursuing higher education. More specifically, in the typical Nigerian parents' fields of interest, like medicine, engineering, law, etc. My dad, always called me doctor from young because he wanted me to be a medical doctor for really badly. But honestly, I don't That wasn't my interest, honestly, but I, had a natural interest in technology just because it was always around me, and fortunately was able to participate in computer camps and, take computing courses throughout school. And so this gave me a natural interest in technology. And then also just with that, somewhat pressure, of, medicine around me, I also kind of geared to combining my interest in technology and understanding how it could advance, medicine and healthcare in general. And then, around the time I was in my senior year of undergrad, AI was really coming around again after we had been in what people call an AI winter. And so I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense for me to, combine these. And then I was able to add in the human-centered side of computing into it as well.
And I know you say that you're still pretty early in your career, but has there been a defining moment, would you say, that, has led you to say, yes, this is what I want to focus on?
Yeah, I would say for me, when I was a PhD student in my second year, and I really was able to settle down or hone in on the kind of research that I wanted to do. And essentially, it's centered around a field called Information and Communication Technologies for Development, or ICTD. And so essentially, leveraging technology to help those, in the global south, or what people commonly refer to as developing countries. And so knowing that I had, this background of growing up as Nigerian-American, with honestly most of my family still being in Nigeria and seeing the issues that they face on a daily basis, understanding how I could leverage my privilege, and also my expertise into addressing these pressing development issues. So I would say that was probably the time I knew that this was the field and career for me.
And what are some of the challenges you faced, not just, looking at you as a Nigerian, but a woman working in a highly technical and predominantly male field?
Yeah, honestly, sometimes I always feel like I didn't necessarily have many explicit, challenges, but a lot of things are implicit. You may be surrounded by, mostly men in your classrooms, and you may feel intimidated because a lot of times they tend to group up with each other. And then, there are other times where you may be in a classroom or, in a meeting or, research meeting, for example, and you'll say something and someone else will kind of like latch out to that and say it louder than you and get all the credit. And so these things have happened, but honestly, they haven't necessarily deterred me from staying in this field, because I would say just through my upbringing, I was always, raised to be very determined, and, knowing that even from my first year of undergrad, I knew that I wanted to pursue a PhD and nothing was going to stop me. And so that was, something that always led me, or kept me going.
And let's talk about a bit about your research now. How do you think AI can be used to address unique challenges, of course, in Nigeria and other developing countries? Also, you always raise awareness about also the potential risk of AI as well.
Yeah, so, for me right now, my research is primarily focused on AI and data governance issues within the African context. And when I get asked, these questions, I'm always cautious, to, hype AI, just because we've seen that right now it's only benefiting a few companies and also people that live in countries that have, more access to these devices, or to, technological devices, and also to these AI technologies in general. And so my focus right now was understanding how African governments, particularly, and those in other countries within the global south, can leverage AI. And so I think right now there has to be a focus on advancing these critical development problems, so focusing on infrastructure, creating a stable electricity grid, which is essential for AI development, and also to allow people to engage with these AI technologies. And so as we, make progress towards this, I think some of the benefits will obviously trickle down into fields like healthcare, helping nurses and also patients access, and other healthcare professionals, access, this critical information that can aid in more effective decision making. And when we think about agriculture, particularly something that Nigeria struggles with when we think about our respective productivity in this area, helping farmers, understand how to optimize their yields, and then also connecting farmers, with avenues to sell their crops, and even, help prevent some of this wastage or spoilage that we often see in this process. And another area, obviously, is education. Helping, students gain access to more personalized tutoring, but also providing educators with more resources and helping to balance their respective workloads as well.
And what are some of the, projects you're currently working on with regards to that, or have recently completed?
Yeah, so I haven't, focused on, pure AI development as I was, a couple years ago at the start of my PhD, but some things that I have, more generally looked at or have worked on personally is, working with the Nigerian government directly and helping, to review grants for one of their recent AI research grant programs, and then which was a national Nigeria AI research scheme. And then so this provided around, I believe, like 5 million naira or so in grants, to different, or I think it's a bit more, to each. To different organizations. And then also helping the Nigerian government, the technology ministry or digital ministry, in developing their national AI strategy. And then also some more continental efforts, also helping the African Union with their respective continental AI strategy, which, these efforts again, are still, respectively in development and also have not been fully implemented. But the broader goal is to help address some of these critical issues in funding AI research and also providing that fundamental support to grow AI ecosystems within Nigeria and also across Africa.
And as a Nigerian in the diaspora, what are your thoughts on the importance of giving back to the Nigerian tech and education sectors?
I think it's, very important. I've been fortunate, to grow up relatively privileged. And I think for me that I always had a desire to center my career within Nigeria and also within just Africa more broadly. And so I'm so fortunate that I've been able to engage directly with the Nigerian government and also, with the African Union and want to do more, particularly back home in Anambra, where my family is from and where, I am from technically. And so I definitely want to find more opportunities to engage and continue to help out in any way I can.
And just finally, any advice for young Nigerians aspiring to careers in technology, particularly, artificial intelligence?
Yeah, fortunately, there's so many opportunities opening up, but I think that they can honestly seem inaccessible to many Nigerians just due to the challenges that people face on a daily basis. And so obviously, common sayings of, work hard, focus on your studies, but also be very proactive and, reaching out to people that you may feel could be helpful in your respective career, and then also seeking opportunities to upskill, and advance your respective skill set in AI and similar areas. And I think there's many opportunities to pursue education, especially, masters and PhDs abroad in these fields. And, researchers and professors are actively looking for students to fill in their roles. I actually had the fortune of being at the University of Michigan last weekend. There's a professor in the AI lab there that is recruiting and has Nigerian students in her lab. And I think there's much potential for this to grow and increase. And so definitely, focus and work hard on your studies.
All right then, Dr. Chinasa Okolo, it's been a pleasure speaking to you on the program. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you again.
And that wraps up another inspiring episode of Diaspora Network. Remember, you can find more insightful stories of Nigerians making their mark on the global stage on our YouTube channel and website, channelcv.com. Until next time, I'm Tenyola Oyetayo. Bye for now.